All right, Coach, got to tell us a story. How did you get there from here? What transpired?
Well, first of all, thank you all for coming and having an interest in this. It's been a wild day. A friend of mine who, is in the NBA said, hey, you have to meet my friend Kobe Altman, GM of the Cavaliers. You guys would get along great. He's, young and visionary and smart. And I said, great. I'm always open to connections. And so he had texted me and said, can we get on the phone at some point? I do think there was a push in the NBA for conversation around diversity. So I said, sure. And then he said, I'm going to be in Chicago for the pre-draft workouts. Are you free, next week? And I said, I am, but I'm actually going to be in Chicago as well because I was speaking at the Junior NBA conference. And he said, let's meet up. And I thought it would be, more like a high level, where's the NBA going with women? Or, we had a young woman on our team, intern with the Warriors, Ray Caldwell. I thought maybe it's how do we get more young women? And he looked at me and he said, we just hired Coach Beeline. We want to build an organization, with the Cavaliers that's about culture and bettering players and building, through development. And we want to put the best staff together, and we want you to be on that staff. And I was blown away, and from there was different conversation about what it might look like, but the opportunity to be in the NBA, which has been a lifelong dream, but more so to join an organization that had a vision that included me and thought that I could add value. Coach Beeline is a genius. I had known him a little bit beforehand, and to be on the ground floor with Coach Beeline and JB Bickerstaff and Kobe Altman and the rest of the staff, it just was a life-changing opportunity. I hope an opportunity to help grow this organization and the team, and also one that, down the road will impact, many, many people.
How much time elapsed before you said to yourself, holy expletive, what just happened?
Since the conversation started, I think I've said it every single day. And at the same time, I had an unbelievable job. This is my place. I've never pursued any other college jobs. If I've gotten calls, I said, thanks, I'm flattered, but no thanks. I don't need to go look at your facility. This is Cal. So while I was blown away by the opportunity, obviously that was tempered by, having to wrap my mind around, leaving something that is so important to me. But ultimately, the vision, the opportunity to be part of something on the front end to hopefully impact others was, something that I knew I had to do it.
Lindsay, can you talk about the historic nature of this? You're the first college women's head coach to join an NBA coaching staff. Is there a little bit of extra added pressure there, or how do you feel about being the first to do something so impressive?
I mean, I'm a huge student of, sports in general, and it's no, secret that the NBA and Adam Silver are pushing to get, equality in the league, and that's something that's really remarkable. And that being said, the Cavs organization and how they approach this is forward-thinking, even for a forward-thinking league. I mean, what they presented and how they presented it was like nothing I had heard anyone else, doing. And so for me, it's about, number one, first and foremost, being part of a team, being part of a coaching staff, and the mission to get done what we want to do with the organization. But I would be lying if I, didn't also acknowledge that there's this bigger thing to it. And my feeling is someone has to leave an unbelievable Division I, Power 5 head coaching job to go be an assistant, so that somewhere else down the line, Muffet McGraw goes straight from being a head coach to being an NBA head coach if she wanted to, or the next person. Or I said this to my players today, maybe it's Mackenzie Forbes one day, who's the first head coach, female head coach in the NBA. I don't know, but you have to make leaps in order for people to see that it could happen. And so do I feel a pressure? No, but I do think there's someone has to do something hard and scary for the next person to be able to do something, and so I'm aware of that. But obviously, I just want to add value to the team I'm joining. The next time I'm on the floor with them.
There was a time years ago, probably, where NBA players may not be willing to listen to women coaches. What has convinced you that time maybe is passing or has passed, and how do you go about becoming effective in your role?
mean, two things, like that I don't know that time was ever there. You know, you watch what Becky has done with the Spurs, and there's been nothing but positive reaction from those players. And I did have an opportunity. You know, another organization asked me to come in as a guest coach and work one of their free agent mini camps. And I was like, wow, I can learn from anywhere. Cool. And you know, free agent mini camps are guys in the G League or playing overseas, or people who have had 10-day contracts trying to get back in the league, and had an opportunity to coach them for a couple days. And I was really nervous at first, and all of a sudden the ball starts bouncing, and I get to talk in a huddle, and they listen, and I felt like I could teach them, and they don't care what you look like, they care if you're helping them and if you know basketball. And so that was, you know, that was a really important, I think, thing for me to believe, you know, I can do this, and you know, they'll listen if I know what I'm talking about. And you know, in this process of this decision, you know, and my kind of where I was with it, I remember when Joanne Boyle took the job at Cal, and I was her assistant at Richmond. I went through a process of, what if someone like Devin A. Hampton and Ashley Walker and Alexis Gray Lawson, great players, what if they don't listen to me? I played in the Ivy League. Or, you know, I'm at Richmond, and I was scared, you know? And then I came out here, and it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me in my life, coming to Cal. Met my husband here, had our son, coached the most incredible young women. You have to do things that scare you in order to know that you can do them. And so for me, I reference that, and I'm like, how can I not do this?
Coach, how difficult was it to tell your team this news?
Difficult in one way, and I will say not difficult in the other way, because I think you build relationship equity over time. They know who I am, and so you know, unfortunately, I had to write them a group message because they're not here. That's the, you know, and I wanted to make sure they heard it from me before it, you know, broke on the internet. And essentially, what I said is, this is incredibly. You need to know how much I agonized over this because of you. But at the end of the day, I need to do it for you, so that when you know, have a chance to, whatever it is, you know, do something scary to be a CEO, you know. Maybe Chen references this when she wants to, you know, go be a CEO, or maybe one of them's running for president, or maybe, you know, someday I get to hire one of them, you know, in a job in the NBA. I think once I started sort of framing it that way as I was writing this text message, I'm like, they're gonna be okay with this, and they are. And also, they are strong and resilient, wonderful student athletes at Cal who, believe it or not, do not need me. This university is incredible. They need each other. They have wonderful support here, but I'm not worried about them one bit, but I will miss the heck out of them, and I will never leave their life.
Coach, have you been in touch with Becky Hammond? And if you have, could you share with us maybe any inside advice she might have given you?
Not in this crazy day.
Okay.
Jenny Busek actually texted me and said, you know, welcome to the league, and I said, I'm going to call you and pick your brain. I had met Becky when she actually did a little bit of work for the Pac-12 network before she got the job, and so, you know, had some interaction with her around that. But when the dust settles here and I start getting advice from everyone, she will be on the list. I did reach out to Kara Lawson, who is a game, you know, analyst for the. She's with the Washington Wizards organization, and just kind of asked her about, you know, I have over the years what it's like. So I will certainly, you know, tap into every single resource I can to be as successful as I can in the job that I've been entrusted with.
When you walk on that court at Quicken Loans Arena, how do you wrap your head around the fact that, you know, I'm not just coaching men, I'm coaching players, and just block that out, and then just, here's the game plan the coach wants, and these are the sets we're going to run?
I think that's going to be pretty easy. I think what I've thought about a little bit is, in addition to the chance to be a part of this staff, it's a master class in basketball from the greatest minds in the game. John Beilein is a genius. And by the way, a genius who's like super nice and open and wants my opinions on things and thinks I can add value. But you know, JB Bickerstaff is a 2-time head coach in the NBA. The rest of the staff, you know, there's an analytics guy and the salary cap expert. You know, when I got a chance to visit with them, I realized there are not a lot of times in life where you can, in your career, kind of make a shift and just have a whole amazing amount of things to learn. So for me, it's not about men or women. It's about, this is, you know, the highest level of the sport that I love, and that's, I think, what I'm, looking forward to. I might reach out to you when, we're trying to do a scouting report to stop Steph Curry or, LeBron James and be like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? How do we do this? But to me, that's what I'm going to be challenged, to grow and learn. And not a lot of people get that in their life. And at the same time, add to something, a team that's trying to achieve something. And I was so bought into the vision of the Cavs and how they have to build it, how we have to build it, I guess I should say, with developing young players, building a culture, it's basketball and it's growing young people, and building a team. And that's, I think, what my expertise is in, regardless of if it's men or women.
So you're joining a very small club of women working in the NBA, and obviously there are a lot of women who love sports and want to play sports and want to get to the professional level, the NBA level.
Mhm.
What do you want them to get out of this news for you?
I think the first thing is that representation matters. So, back to the question about our players, the impact I can have on, 13 or 14, young women I've coached every year is really important. But if there's a chance to impact 1 million, that's pretty neat. And it doesn't have to necessarily be the ones that end up as professional athletes. Maybe it's the young girl who says, I can do whatever it is that I want to do in life because I'm seeing someone else, But mainly, I think, a lot of people have texted me today that, their daughters are going to grow up now seeing women on the bench in the NBA and believing that that's normal, because it is. And I'm so indebted to Adam Silver and to Kobe Altman, the GM, and John Beeline, because they're the ones who are making these opportunities, and all I need to do is, work really, really hard and be the best that I can be at this job, and hopefully that opens up other opportunities for other, qualified people.
Is this an opportunity that just fell into your lap? I gotta believe you had just drawn up off-season conditioning for the team. This person's gotta work on the drop step, this person's gotta work on the jump shot, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah. This was not on my immediate radar at all. And, I was very much looking forward to, the new team that we have, a lot of young, new players, and that process building. And, that's a hard thing to walk away from, because that's what I do. And at the same time, when you say, did this just drop out of the sky? I've been working in basketball for 20 years, and so I've been coaching for a long time, and I think on the one hand this came out of nowhere, but in other ways it's literally what I've been pouring my heart into every single day. And I believe that when you do things the right way and value people and try to be great at what you do, then opportunities come. That's how I've always lived. I wasn't looking for this, but I think sometimes those are when the best opportunities come.
Can you take us through the timetable? When exactly did you hear from Kobe Altman or whoever for the first time, when they made the offer to you, when you sat down with them? And also, what's next in terms of when do you head back there and start doing your work?
So the original connection with Kobe Altman happened a little bit, kind of before any of this. And it was, like I said, just connecting. Hey, my friend said, this guy's great. I think you're great. You guys should talk about basketball in the NBA. Then I had a conversation with him in Chicago when he was there for the pre-draft workouts, and that started the conversation. And from there was just a lot of information gathering. I had to, kind of really wrap my mind around what does this look like. I did get to go out there and meet with Coach Beeline and meet, everyone involved in the organization, spend time, and it was really the people and the vision of the organization. It's the NBA part is cool, but if you're not bought into the people and what the mission is, it wouldn't be. Well, I wasn't looking to go anywhere, and so then that happened, and then it was just a matter of having the time with with my husband and our family and weighing what this big change would look like. I will say, you mentioned again, what does it look like for people? I don't know. I hope subtle things like I have a husband who's incredibly accomplished in, his own right and has a career, and he's like, let's go do this. I mean, I hope that's part of it, right? You just, women can do things, with children and with supportive, partners in any which way, and you just hope you do things the right way, and people see that it's possible.
And when do you go back there?
So I think the plan is to go be there Monday. Again, it's such an interesting situation because it's putting everything in at the ground floor. You know, Coach Beeline is putting in, you know, the offense and the building the culture. And so, you know, I'll probably, you know, pack my bag and not return here for about a month, you know, being in Cleveland. And then we have the Salt Lake Summer League and then the Las Vegas Summer League. And then I think I'll take a breath and have time to transition our family from the Bay Area to Cleveland through, you know, the second half of July and August.
And you'll be involved with the draft?
Yep. Yep. So that's been pretty neat. You know, they've really, you know, want my input, and I have a lot to learn, but hopefully, you know, some things to offer. And so excited to get to that.
Do you think you could ever make it to head coach? Do you think that's gonna happen for you or for any time in our lifetime here?
Honestly, I accepted this position feeling like I'm all in on being an assistant coach with the Cleveland Cavaliers, really. And, you know, I've learned throughout my coaching career, you don't take a job thinking about the next job or anything else. You know, I do think what has never been done in the NBA is a woman with head coaching experience and, you know, high-level college experience, has never done it before, so I do hope that opens the doors for people. The fact that you even asked that question gives me chills because I do hope there's a female head coach in the NBA, you know, sooner than later. Whether that's me or not, I don't know. I'm all in on this journey and this piece of it, but you know, I think it gives me chills to think that there is going to be one, you know, one day. But I'm just worried about, you know, helping draft the correct people and working on a scouting report and, you know, doing whatever it is that, you know, Coach Beeline and the staff asks me to do.
Any other questions for Coach Gottlieb?
Last one for me is kind of a fun one. Now that you're gone and can be told, I've always wanted to know, how many bottles of water did you average
Oh my gosh.
for a game?
A lot. I think it's a better question for, you know, our managers who just kept filling it up and filling it up and filling it up. But you know, I definitely was well hydrated throughout our games here, and I mean, I just have so much love for this program. I mean, I do think the way I came here was unique in that I had been here and got to walk into a situation with a lot of support, and I believe it's unique to walk away when you still want to be here. It's just you're pulled somewhere else. I'm so grateful, and I will say this program is in great shape. The staff is incredible. The culture of the team has never been better. There are unbelievable incoming players. You know, we're in on all kinds of unbelievable recruits, and like this Cal can be better than they've ever been. We've ever been going forward. I will always be part of this family, and I told our players I'm going to have a different seat. I'm not going to be their head coach, but I'm going to be their biggest fans, and I'm going to be in their life and supporting the people here in this building as hard as anybody.
Thanks,
Wow, you
everyone.
made it through a whole press conference and you didn't lose it.
You got close
A couple times. Thank you all.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have they talked to you about